भाई साहब वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप के क्वेसो कप में हम लोग फाइनल डे में पहुंच चुके हैं। हमारे साथ भाई साहब क्या क्या नहीं हुआ इस टूर्नामेंट के अंदर, आज की देखो भाई पूरी वीडियो देखना, क्योंकि यार क्या ही मैच हुई है। लास्ट मोमेंट तक हमारी फटी थी, हम लोगों को पता ही नहीं क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है। इतनी भयंकर मैच, वो भी इस लेवल पे आके खेल रहा है भाई साहब, हमारे बस की बात ये थी ही नहीं। चलो भाई डायरेक्ट गेम के अंदर चलता हूँ और आप लोगों को बताता हूँ। और हाँ, लंबी वीडियो होने वाली है और बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग मैच हुई है भाई, आप लोगों को पूरी देखनी पड़ेगी आज। भाई साहब टोटल यहाँ पे 8 टीम्स है, 8 टीम में से अभी सिर्फ 6 टीम्स बची है, जिसमें हम लोग ग्रैंड फाइनल डे में आ चुके हैं। और 2 मैचेस से 2 में से 1 हार गए आप लोग बाहर, क्योंकि हम लोग पहले से बहुत सारी टीम्स को हराते आए हैं, दूसरी टीम से भी बहुत सारी टीम्स को हराते हैं। तो यहाँ पे डबल एलिमिनेशन है, सिंगल एलिमिनेशन पे आपको चांस मिलेगा। हमारी पहली मैच लग जाती है भाई साहब यहाँ पे क्लैश चैंप टीम के साथ। आधी हार तो हम लोग उधर ही मान जाते हैं कि भाई साहब चाहे कुछ हो जाए, इस टॉप 8 टीम्स में नावी और क्लैश चैंप, ये 2 टीम से हमारा मैच कभी नहीं होना चाहिए। खतरा तो हम लोगों को सारी टीमों से लगता है, लेकिन ये 2 टीम से कुछ ज्यादा ही खतरा लगता है। क्लैश चैंप के पास भी 7 डेज का टाइम था, उनको 7 दिन पहले पता था कि हमारी मैच इनके साथ है, और हमको भी पता था हमारी मैच क्लैश चैंप के साथ है 7 दिन पहले। तो हमने भी हमारे तगड़े बेसिस लगाए उनके लिए, उनके हिसाब से, उनके अटैक के हिसाब से हम लोगों ने बेसिस बिल्ड करे, उन्होंने हमारे अटैक के हिसाब से बेसिस बिल्ड करे। और यकीन नहीं करोगे, जब मैच लगी हमारे एक बंदे को समझ नहीं आ रहा है कौन से बेस पे अटैक करे भाई साहब, इतने खतरनाक बेसिस उन्होंने लगा के रखे। और क्लैश चैंप जैसी टीम यार पिछले 2-3 साल से वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में टॉप 8 गोल्डन टिकट लेके खेल रही है, तभी तो हम लोग डर रहे थे इस टीम के अगेंस्ट खेलना। लेकिन यार अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम लोग यहाँ पे मैच हार जाते हैं, हम लोगों से एक भी बेस ट्रिपल आता ही नहीं है। और हमारे बेसिस भी बहुत तगड़े काम करते हैं, सिर्फ गोहिल का एक बेस है जहाँ पे 3 स्टार आता है। और रही बात मेरी, तो मैं यहाँ पे अटैक करने वाला था नंबर 4 के ऊपर। नंबर 4 के ऊपर मेरी आर्मी पूरी रेडी थी, और आर्मी भी नंबर 4 के हिसाब से लेके रखी थी। लेकिन लास्ट मोमेंट तक मेरा ये कंफर्म ही नहीं था कि मुझे अटैक किधर करना है, नंबर 4 पे करना है कि 2 पे करना है। तो ये भाई बोले वो नंबर 4 पे करेंगे, तो मेरे को अनफॉर्चुनेटली टाइम हो ही गया था। सब लोग बोल रहे थे अटैक करो सुमित भाई, टाइम हो चुका है, पेनल्टी पड़ जाएगी। तो उसी टाइम पे मेरे को जल्दबाजी में अटैक करना पड़ा, और अटैक के अंदर मेरे साथ हो गया बहुत बड़ा लोचा। मेरी सीसी के स्पेल्स में गलत लेके आ गया, लाइटनिंग स्पेल्स मेरे को यहाँ पे लाने नहीं थे, वो भी मैं गलत लेके आ गया। यहाँ पे गोलम भी मेरे को नहीं लाना था, वो भी मैं गलत लेके आया। और यहाँ पे क्लोन और इनविजिबिलिटी देख लो, 3 इनविजिबिलिटी स्पेल में क्या ही होता है, 6 इनविजिबिलिटी स्पेल लेके आता हूँ मैं। यहाँ पे मेरे को कुछ समझ नहीं आया, यहाँ पे मैं पहले 10-15 सेकंड शांत बैठा, कुछ समझ नहीं आया। एजाज भाई को बोला, एजाज भाई ये तो मैं गलत आर्मी लेके आ गया। एजाज भाई ने मेरे को जैसे जैसे कॉल्स दिए वैसे वैसे मैंने अटैक करा, और सक्सेसफुली मैं यहाँ पे 2 स्टार लेके आ गया। तो भाई साहब ये वाली मैच हम लोग हार गए। अभी हमारे पास एक आखिरी मौका है, हमारी मैच लग जाती है बैड जिंगर टीम के साथ। यहाँ पे अगर हम लोग हार गए तो $2000 लेके घर जाओ, और अगर जीत गए तो भाई साहब आगे बढ़ोगे ग्रैंड फाइनल डे में। ये टीम भी भाई साहब पिछले साल वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में गोल्डन टिकट लेके खेल के आ चुकी है, मतलब बहुत खतरनाक टीम थी। और भाई साहब हम लोग को बिल्कुल उम्मीद नहीं थी कि भाई इनके अगेंस्ट हम लोग मैच जीत पाएंगे। क्या ही नेल बाइटिंग मैच हुई भाई साहब। अभी यहाँ से आप लोग पूरी मैच देखना भाई साहब, लास्ट मोमेंट तक समझ नहीं आता कौन सी टीम जीतने वाली है। जब आपकी टीम 100% भी दे देती है, तब भी आपको लगता है भाई सामने वाला ट्रिपल मार देगा तो वो लोग जीत जाएंगे। इतनी खतरनाक सिचुएशन पैदा हो गई थी भाई साहब। पूरी वीडियो देखना, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग मैच है
so far today. So that means basically any team can win against any other team at any given moment. And the next 2 teams that we're seeing here, TWAB, OB and Bad Zinger, they both had 10 or 11 stars in the first ball. So it will be close in this one again, as we will see Ajas, Gohill, Drago, Tayyab and Sumit going into the fight for TWAB. And they will be facing off against BN, Kadiel, Dima, Andy and Vanna. And if I remember correctly, Woody, then we have seen some very creative hits like from both teams, but especially I remember the Bad Zinger attacks with the Electro Dragons, with the Super Dragons also coming into the Town Hall, and also I think it was ND really taking out the base compartment by compartment. And I'm really eager to see what both of these teams can bring to the table in this next war.
Yeah, right, you are. And TWOB just right there alongside Clash Champs virtually eschewing the entire Lava Hound meta. Just balloons and Lava Hounds were almost nowhere to be seen on their side of the field. We will see whether they've watched these other 3 wars and got a little bit of inspiration to bring those back into the fore. But that remains to be seen. We'll have to see what bases these teams have brought up for this next round of attacks, and whether or not they have been, as we've seen, kind of specifically set up to deny these Lava Hound strikes. anytime you see a multi-target Inferno, especially when there's multiple multi-target Infernos that have rage spells on them, balloons are just going to have a mighty tough time cracking through. That's when you start to see these Electro Titans storming in to try to get some damage in. Electro Dragons as well. Any big, heavy, beefy troops that have to face off against multi-target Inferno are going to have a much better time than balloons. It's really only when you have 99 of them that you're able to overcome those big multi-target Infernos, or when you can get heroes to take them out early on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was what I was just going to say. There are also some teams that like to do queen charges into these compartments, because we know raged up multi-infernos, they do considerable damage to balloons, but a queen with just this multi-beam can still be held at full life with the help of a rage spell or freeze or invisibility spells, for example. So pretty low costs to take out some key defenses, and especially these multi-infernos and rage towers are often around the eagle artillery. So that's another bonus you can get. Then again, the base builders know that, so they stack some black air mines there that are very bad for your healers. Or okay, as I was just going to explain something else, we already see the first attack, Woody, and I don't want to waste time talking about some abstract thoughts when we have some concrete, tangible attacks going on. And it is Go Hill, and for the first time we will see mass super dragons, Woody. So interesting to see how this can go. We see Go Hill has the blimp ready, and he will just send it into the town hall straight away, freezing the poison spell tower, and just some balloons coming out casually, you know, taking that out, funneling a little bit on the left side, and I think he will just then go in full force with this super dragons in just a second, Woody.
Here they come. We love to get the predictions in, as well as to who all of you think will win, so make sure to vote, whether you're watching over on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube. Keep those votes coming in. Right now, I do see that Twitch is favoring Bad Zinger on this vote prediction, but YouTube is favoring TWOB, so we will have to see which of these communities is going to come out with the prediction foresight to call this one. Go Hill, one of the MVP attackers from TWOB, certainly a very strong striker, but has missed before and needs to come back with a vengeance this time to grab that 3-star. Drops another free spell there right in the center, because he's only got one more Super Dragon to take out the interior. He does finish off that Eagle Artillery, but leaves that air defense and a multi-target Inferno still standing. I don't know what he's got to be able to finish it off. Just has to lean on these heroes now, Maxi.
Yes, he does, and there is so much left in his base that I don't really see his heroes finishing up the rest of it. Especially with that Royal Champion being slowed down by the poison spell there, you could really see that he wanted his Super Dragons to path right into the core where there were actually these raged up multi-infernos that we talked about before, all stacked up with the Eagle Artillery in between and the air defenses, which you could see a second ago, and you might see again in just a couple of seconds. But we remember there was a stacked core in the base. At the Super Dragons, they just didn't make their way into it, and that's where he would have needed them, and we can see the attack finishing up with the core still being up. He can just collect a couple more percentage points there. Luckily, the archers protect his queen, so she can take out the king that is slowed down by the poison, so the queen might get 2 or 3 more buildings, but after that, it will be over for Go Hill, showing his device there in the camera. He did everything legit there. That's what he is proving, finishing at a 85% 2-star for his team. Not too bad, but also not the head start that they were probably hoping for, Woody.
Yeah, a tough beginning here for TWOB, finding that 2-star in the middling 80 percentages. And we know that that is not how you want to start off a war. You want to get that big, clean, decisive 3-star against whatever base you think is going to require the least amount of preparation time in order to take down. For Go Hill to miss again is just one more piece of evidence here that TWOB, although they were spectacular in the later rounds of the Swiss stage, are not really quite finding their footing yet here in this bracket against tougher teams, against bigger, heavier bases that have just denied them any easy planning opportunities, any quick strikes. These bases are just so super tough to crack, and it just seems like as more defenses get added, as more variability in defenses get added, right? With these spell towers either being set to invisibility or set to poison or set to rage. It's like there's lots of different ways that you can configure these bases. It just takes so much mental effort to break them down, to develop a plan in such a little amount of time, that I'm kind of starting to sweat and feel bad for these guys. I feel like they need a little bit more time to have that opportunity to get their mind in the right place to make this attack work. But both of these teams have just about the same amount of time. It's only Vane with another 3 minutes of his own that he's waiting and watching TWOB attack before it's his turn to get in there now. What are you noticing first and foremost, Maxi?
First and foremost, I'm noticing once again a stacked Town Hall compartment, basically like we saw before in the Navi versus Chessmech match, where I talked about it with Eric, where we have the Rage Tower, the Multi, the Bomb Towers, and especially these ground targeting Expos as well. But you know, most of these defenses only target ground, and that's why it's a great idea from Vane to send in his big force of the Electro Dragons. And with this Warden ability, look at how far these dragons plus the balloons actually get through the Town Hall poison. They are at pretty much like 60-70% health, so they still have a lot of force going into that core, and Vane notices that, rages them up in the core. And Woody, you asking what I think of what we're seeing here, and I think that this will most likely be a 3-star strike. Calling it already, I know there's a slight risk of jinxing, but honestly, in this case, he has 3 hero abilities, and look at this, just a couple of defenses, and they are basically all reachable from the outside, with the exception of that Multi-Inferno and the ground targeting Expo. But 3 Electro Dragons in the mix as well, Woody. I don't think Vane is going to be stoppable in this attack.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That multi-target Inferno could be a notable exception if this were an attack that was relying upon like a mass of hogs or balloons that had already been damaged. But really high hit point Electro Dragons that have still got over half of their hit points remaining on those, 2 of them anyway, are going to be able to power through that multi-target Inferno section with no trouble at all. Oh, one does go down there to that big Seeking Air Mine. But still, Vane is going to grab that 3-star, and Badzinger will hold the field in the first salvo of attacks. It is going to be a 1-star lead for them and a nice little percentage bump as well. So our friends and fans over on the Badzinger side of the arena are going to be cheering them on. Very happy to see a good early strike.
Yes, that was a beautiful attack, and I guess their manager Inferno will also be happy at home while he's rooting for them to 3-star. By the way, Vane, we remember he had, I think, a 96% 2-star, like a heartbreakingly close attack that almost got the 3-star done in the first war. Unfortunately, in the end, it didn't. Could have gotten them a step closer to the winner's bracket, but this time he is at least putting them a step closer to staying in this tournament with this 3-star strike to start it off, and certainly also puts a good amount of pressure onto the TWOB attackers, since they will now be having to deliver nothing other than a 3-star, Woody.
Yeah, Badzinger's looking really clean out of the gates, and if they can keep this momentum up, I'm sure that just going toe-to-toe with TWOB at this point is good enough for them. They have an advantage, so this is a big confidence boost for them as well. They've got time on their side. They've got the confidence of knowing that they've been to the top of the Clash of Clans World Championship esports scene before. They're making their way back there once again. Even though they're in the lower bracket right now, they know that their foe is too, and with the better record in the Swiss stage with an advantage in the first round of attacks, this really does look like things are swinging pretty hard over to Badzinger's side. But you know what? I casted the Swiss stage. I've seen TWOB in action. This is a squad that can pull off nearly perfect wars, and you can never count them out. The offense is just incredible, and I don't know if there's any fandom out there besides TWOB's that is like bigger and stronger. So we'll see if Drago now, as the next attacker for this squad, has got what it takes with a bit more of an old school. We're going back to the Laloon. We're playing it smart with fewer risks early on, but having to commit that Eternal Tome to get the blimp over and into that center compartment. It is all about whether this Blizzard gets the effect that it needs.
Yes, and that he barely made it. I mean, he invested just 1 free spell into the 1 sweeper. I don't know, maybe he could have gone without any spells there at all. And at this point, I think, yeah, he shouldn't invest any more spells. Good job. Also, the Super Wizards tanking or like activating the poison spell tower was very important there. A little bonus for him because he wants his queen with the golem now to take out the town hall. And look at all these build outs, all these expos around the town hall. Just imagine if he had a poison spell thrown at his queen, she would slow down even more. And she is already struggling, to be honest. He might need to invest in invisibility spell. There it goes, because the town hall takedown at this point, yeah, is the next step in this attack. King going to the right would be nice to take out the enemy royal champion. And then he can already start the Lalo. And look at what is left of this base, Rudy. If he takes out the right compartment there, not much actually here. Just the south to the east, no, west side there.
Yeah, hardly any of the base. That was a really great value strike early on. And notably didn't have to spend very many spells to support it. Look, he still had 4 freezes, a couple of haste spells to stack onto this Laloon push along the bottom side. And what's going to stop him? I mean, the multi-target Infernos are already down. He's got right on top of that scatter shot so it can't fire back. He's got a great spread of troops here for cleanup. Drago has pretty confidently followed up for TWOB, grabbing that 3-star. He still is scratching his head, seeing if there's anything else left that he needs to do, but it looks pretty dang strong to me. There could be some sort of disaster with a red bomb or a slowdown, but look, he's got 50 seconds. He's in the clear. Yeah.
He's got it.
Yeah.
I was worrying there as well with the, you know, when we saw the first couple of red mines there. You know, just imagine if there was just the Builder Hut surviving this attack. That would have been heartbreaking, but no, you said it. You can never count out TWOB. They showed it in the Swiss stage, and they are showing it once again. Very nice attack there from Drago. Even though he invested the Warden ability in getting the blimp into the base, he noticed that the base offered so much value if you got the blimp into this compartment that was worth it. And he, yeah, proved himself right there by getting the 3-star. Even though we were worrying a little bit towards the end of attack, Woody, the 3 stars on the board is what matters.
Hey, I'll never stop sweating whenever there's a really great attack on the line. As long as they've got so much riding on this war, I am going to stay invested in their potential success. We know that there's a ton of fans out there still cheering TWOB on, and it is not over by any means now. We have 1 3-star on TWOB side, and we have 1 3-star over on Badzinger's side. So if TWOB can hold on to a defense this time around, it could actually be in the lead for them right now. But that is not an easy thing to ask against a squad like Badzinger, starting right out the gate with a 3-star in their initial attack, and with time on their side, attacking second, right? They've got 3 more minutes to prepare for every attack minimum. That gives a lot of time for them to prep, to think, to get that strategy honed, clarified, and finished off with without any concern at all. And it's something that they've earned too, right? In the upper bracket position as a higher seed, that is certainly the sort of thing that you would want for them to have going down here now, where a loss means elimination. Kadil is not going to let that happen if he has anything to say about it. And with healers to support, it looks like he's going to be starting off with a queen charge or potentially a warden walk. We'll give him time to get this attack started. And here he goes from the top. It is a warden walk, it looks like.
Yep, I would think so too. That's because it's a Titan Smash, Electro Titan Smash, and we could see him warming up his fingers down there at the bottom. I really like that nowadays we always have the player camps available during the attacks. Very cool to see, and you know, their little rituals and what exactly they are doing to prepare and to not make any mistakes in the heat of the moment in an attack or a match that is as important as this one. Now we can see, as usual in the Electro Titan Smashes, that you use the Zap spells, the lightning spells, somewhere around the Town Hall to make sure, with the help of the Earthquake, you also activate the Town Hall, so it is counted as a defense. And what that does is it makes the Flame Flinger consider the Town Hall as a target, and we can see the Flame Flinger at the top side as the smash is going into the base, that it is moving its way towards the Town Hall, where it will hopefully at some point send his strikes to to take this out. Now, we have to focus while it's going on there on the smash in the core of the base, and a perfectly timed Warren ability is essential, and Cadiel used it early on here to make sure that most of his Electro Titans survive, and now he has to get through the Eagle Artillery and the Monolith, and Woody, the Town Hall is finally being targeted.
Wow, getting a Flame Flinger from the top corner all the way down onto the Town Hall is just so satisfying for Cadiel. You often do have to commit a big old siege machine to get that thing down, but whenever they have to float all the way in and just explode and drop sneaky goblins, I'm always left wondering, would there have been a better way to do that that could have gotten more value out of that big investment and still left the troops alive afterwards? Cadiel has found that way, and he is getting paid handsomely for it with the Town Hall. Boom! Now destroyed by that long-range artillery. It will continue to just fire away at defenses. And still on the bottom side, the heroes are looking quite healthy. Healers have actually swapped off onto the Electro Titan, though, leaving that Archer Queen with little support. She's got to be worried now because that multi-target Inferno is going to start beaming her down. Cadiel does still hold on to that Archer Queen ability, though, so she will survive through a little bit more firepower. But this is not yet decisively finished either way here, Maxi.
Yeah, this is going to be such a close one. I don't even, I'm not brave enough to call it at this point. But since, now the CC troops are down, the Queen is taking out, I fear that he is just going to be falling short. Maybe a Headhunter more or a Headhunter out of the CC could have helped him to get through the King and then do some damage onto these defenses at the top side, especially if this ground targeting Expo would have been tanked, then his Queen could have survived the attack. I mean, he did great in between when he used the Rage and Freeze spell combination for his Royal Champion onto the enemy Royal Champion, sending in a Headhunter at the same time, and under Rage this Headhunter was able to take out the enemy Royal Champion and his own Royal Champion taking out the scatter shot. So that actually was a very, very good move here, but still it wasn't enough because, as you said, the Clan Castle troops are somehow wasted after the Flame Flinger takes out the Town Hall, and they didn't really get any additional value being stuck on that King. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was a good plan, a little bit unlucky maybe, just falling short. But, I mean, for us it's good, Woody, because it evens out the score and we still have an open match at hand as Sumit is making his way in the next attack.
Yeah, a little bit of bad news there whenever you lose the healers that are supporting your Queen. That's kind of one of the downsides of stacking up a lot of troops next to her. Hey, she can get a great bodyguard out in front when she's got the Electro Titan giving her some love. But if the Electro Titan pulls the healers off of her, then it's like, what the heck, man? I thought you were supposed to help me out here. It's not like the Grand Warden will chase down and support the largest clump of troops. Those healers are just going to find whatever target they think is best and stick to it. So swapping off the healers was, the end of that raid. So let's watch now as Sumit, one of the strongest players for TWOB, seeing a percentage deficit against Badsinger, but knowing that the stars are even. Can he get this back into a potential win column for his squad? CC pull to the very bottom corner means that he doesn't have to worry too much about this Rocket Loon piling on out with some lava pups. That King down there at the bottom is going to have to chop through some defenses and is soaking shots from the Eagle Artillery. You hope that while the King is taking shots from the Eagle, that Sumit will be able to set up something along the top side. Yes, there he goes with Rocket Loons to take out another air defense. Big investment, but it could be worth it. Rocket Loons just getting spread out all around this base. And this is a strike with surgical precision, Maxi. Not even relying on balloons to finish off the attack. It's now these 4 Dragon Riders moving back.
Yeah, and I think it's really, really cool that he does that at the same time as his heroes are going, because it just, makes sure that he will not get, or at least lowers the probability of a time fail here. Now, unfortunately, the enemy Royal Champion will lock onto these Dragon Riders, and they really have nothing to defend her. He could send in the Headhunters, but then again, there's a ground targeting Expo and the Multi Inferno, both to which the Headhunters are really, really vulnerable to. So he has to rely on his heroes, but they're actually doing a great job, as he still has the Queen ability and just one compartment to finish. I think Sumit is looking strong here towards the end of this attack, Woody.
Those Dragon Riders really ought to take out that scatter shot. Oh, they miss it. bit of a letdown here, but I think that you still are right, Maxi, that this queen is going to be the hero of the day. That one big compartment defended by that royal champion, but Sumit has got no fear at all. Cavalier as he marches into the last round of defenses and didn't even have to take out the enemy royal champion. A 100% 3-star for Sumit, and TWOB are back in the saddle, riding onward. They've got their lance out in front, charging into the late stage of this war, but Badzinger with a small advantage on percentage still will have the final say. They'll be moving in next, and we'll see if they can go toe-to-toe and keep that 3-star coming.
You're talking about 3 stars, and actually, I'm not sure, but I think this is the highest number of 3 stars, same as in the war between ITP and ET Sports that we've seen so far. I mean, 4 attacks in, or 5 attacks in, and already 3 stars. That is a very, very good showing by both of these teams, given that before, no team has earned more than 12 stars. We have seen such a little number of 3 stars today that this is very impressive. You know, the pressure is maybe even higher than before, because these teams need to win now, otherwise they are out. But the players are showing that, you know, they are not new to the competitive scene. They just, they know the feeling, they know they have to deliver when it matters, and so far they're doing a great job. And I couldn't be more excited about the next attacks that are coming, and I'm also very impressed by the showing so far.
Yeah, this has been an absolutely great war. Strong offenses and defenses where they're deserved. We'll see if BN from Badzinger can follow up with another 3-star strike. A very gutsy battle blimp floats on in, gets a CC pull. There goes the invisibility, the rage up as well. He's got to get lots of value from this blizzard, chaining that super wizard lightning all throughout these defenses, takes down the eagle artillery, obliterates that multi-target inferno, zapping through the battle builder hut, finds a spell tower as well. How much can he get before they're taken down? Quite a bit. I don't say it's the most value we've seen out of an early blizzard like that, but it is solid enough that if he can follow up with these balloons on path, that the C shape that now remains of this base is pretty well funneled if he's happy with the defenses that remain. I see that single target inferno next to those 2 air sweepers in the core. If he can finish off this top right compartment with heroes, then adding on the balloons as well to follow, I think BN has got a good shot at making this a triple.
I agree with you here. I'm just wondering what his plan for the town hall is, because he didn't bring anything to go through or over walls. No jump spell, no earthquakes, no wall breakers, and that is basically everything that can get a king and queen through a wall. So I'm wondering if he's just relying on his queen to go around the outside, but she will definitely first step into this ground targeting expo. So not sure. Okay,
it's gonna step into her. She's firing away at it.
But yeah, Lalo into the town hall, and we've seen before, Woody, how this can go with these stacked traps around the town hall. But BN is like, I don't mind. I have a Warden Aura, and my loons will survive the poison spell as they are doing, using the haste spell, sending in Headhunters and the Hound beautifully, so he can use the Warden ability to cover all of those troops. And he did a great job, even getting the Royal Champion protected by the Warden ability, and with 2 free spells in the back, he's still looking strong.
He completely negated those air sweepers by pushing in from the opposite side. The queen did take a little bit of fire from that single target inferno, but just as soon as she got locked, she started to go back toward the top side of the base, winding her way around and staying safe. BN is now scrolling all over this map right now, trying to see if there's anything left that he needs to do to finish off and guarantee the triple. He's got 30 seconds left, and the cleanup is looking strong. I would have expected him to pound his fist a lot sooner than that, but as long as he gets those 3 stars, he is going to be happy. Boom! There it is! BN from Badzinger finds another 3-star, and that keeps TWOB in a very tough position, Yaxi.
Yes, very impressive stuff there. BN going 2 for 2 so far, and given how few triples we've seen today, that is even more impressive. So kudos and GG's over to BN, who is really showing what he's made of today. And yeah, it also brings Badzinger back to the top, but just a slight bit there with 58% compared to 57% over on TWOB's side. So 8-8 after 3 attacks, 2 triples each, everything still possible. Exactly a lower bracket match that we would have wished for, Woody.
Yeah, this is going great so far for Bad Zinger, but not decisively tipped in their favor by any means. TWOB have got a lot left to fight for. And with this being the final war for whichever clan is eliminated, you know that they're going to put it all on the line. They've put their best bases up. They are struggling and studying as best they can to get these armies cooked for the last 2 attacks on both sides. TWOB has got so many fans cheering them on in the chat, and we want to give credit to everyone who's watching right now who sends that love and support. You know that these teams see it. You know that they're watching it, not even just live, but also whenever you show that love over on social media. That's what gives them the motivation, the encouragement to continue to fight on war after war against really tough odds. Credit to all of you out there who are doing your part to fight for your clans in this Clash Fest. The Queso Cup continues as Ijaz will fight next for TWOB with a couple of super minions to back up this Electro Dragon army. We saw a few more of these than we expected earlier on in the bracket stage today, and I was starting to get a little bit suspicious as to whether or not they could actually pull off the triple. But we'll give Ijaz a fair chance because we've seen it happen before, and with some creativity here, drops a skeleton spell to keep that enemy Royal Champion distracted and give that Archer Queen the space that she needs to take her down.
Yes, very nice stuff there, and I love to see these little additions by the players because it shows that they really dissect this base and really kind of plan for what their troops and their heroes will do during the attack. So they predict what is going to happen and have a plan for that in the bag already. Very nice stuff. Now sending this Stone Slammer from a little weird angle, but it perfectly, navigates into this scatter shot there. Now finishing off the monolith just by a slight bit there, but still half of the base is still standing, and he has to get through the Eagle Artillery to ground post to multi-infernos, and especially that poison tower looks deadly to me because as soon as the Royal Champion steps into it, she will be slowed down considerably. I wonder what he's going to do with the super minions. Okay, he's put them down on the left side already, so would like to have this Royal Champion take out the air defense so his air targeting troops can survive for longer.
Tosses her shield off. There's not many defenses left. The Archer Queen doing her best along the top side with that Phoenix. Does take down that multi-target Inferno. And she's in range for the Eagle Artillery as well. Finishes it off with that big modified X-Bow blasting through. Multi-target Inferno survives though. Diggy doing his best to help finish off this wall to get that Archer Queen back into the action. Gonna be a little bit of damage now onto these super minions as an Archer Tower on defense is gonna do its best to hold on for dear life. 91% and climbing higher still. Ijaz is in the jaws of defeat right now. I don't know if he can make it through to finish off this multi-target Inferno. 34 seconds left, and you were just wishing and praying that that poison spell could have been an invisibility spell instead, because dropping that onto the super minion would all but guarantee victory. He's only got 3 troops left on the board. The super minion stays out of range. It's wandering toward the multi. It's firing away. Can he get it down? Ijaz, go, go, go! No! The black bomb! Undeniable! A 2-star, 99%.
Oh, rip. No. I mean, it was so good to see the super minions. They're making their way, and I was sure that they can take out the multi, but then finding the air trap there, so unfortunate there for Ijaz. It was a good plan. I have to hand it to him. Maybe the Stone Slammer, maybe he could have sent the Stone Slammer a little bit more from the left side so it would take out all the defenses on its way, rather than having to send the super minions on there later on. But honestly, I don't think it would have made a difference. If only the unicorn would have survived, Woody, I was thinking, while the queen was, banging on that wall and finally getting through, and she just had a slither of health left. If there had been a little unicorn, using the time that she was beating on the wall, just giving her back some health, that could have been the game changer, but unfortunately falling short. But now it's back over to Bad Zinger, and ND can now get his team way closer to staying in the competition than they probably would have expected at the start of this match. With a 3-star, they would be in the lead now. Now he has to deploy his spells perfectly, and wow, that was actually a perfect invisibility spell. So close, Woody, and he's got everything he wanted.
Wow, and you would expect nothing less from a player of his caliber. Fighting in as the pride of Kazakhstan, ND from Bad Zinger is holding a very powerful mallet in his hand, ready to smash Sumit's base. A gigantic piercing strike has given him now a great shape up for this balloon Lava Hound army to follow through. Not committing any healers to this. It's going to be a full-on Lalo, and he's got plenty of help out in front. Ooh, good job catching that Tesla farm. That's going to give him a little bit more of a read as to what he has to do next. Drops the Barbarian King. That's going to be soaking some of that Tesla damage, trying to keep the Queen safe on the backside. Eagle Artillery has not yet activated, and he's being very careful not to draw its fire until he absolutely knows that he's able to take it down very shortly thereafter. The Queen should be able to pivot off onto it, and with the Royal Champion stacked on, this is a triple hero strike in the top that's going to do a lot of damage, Maxi.
Yes, he needs to start the Lalo, I was just about to say. And also a second wall breaker would have been so nice there, going into the ground targeting expo. But the Royal Champion is going to make her way into the multi-inferno. Anyways, now it's all about the Lalo, because the value he got from his heroes and from the Super Wizard Blimp, I think, was incredible already. Tremendous value, and now...
Nice freeze!
Yes, absolutely. The freeze deployment here was perfect. He uses the Warden ability rather early. I think he could have delayed it a little bit more, so all the loons in the Town Hall Poison will die, but he has still a haste spell and many loons around the outside. Just there's a little monolith, but honestly, Woody,
a big monolith.
It was such a good plan. He got substantial value there in the start with the Super Wizards, and I think he crushed his base here. He's already celebrating down at the bottom of your screen. Incredible stuff here from Andy.
And with that Michael Jordan shirt, you see a slam dunk by ND. Certainly among the top in the game right now, and Bad Zinger, who were starting off this 4th round of attacks even on stars but ahead on percentage, will now be ahead on stars and percentage. Only 1 round of attacks left for both TWOB and Bad Zinger, and it is looking like Bad Zinger are in a very confident spot. They're going to be attacking second, so they know exactly what they're going to be up against. TWOB need to put a triple up on the board just to have a hope for survival, and not even that will be enough to guarantee a win, Maxi.
Yeah. They are in a tough spot right now, TWOB, but we've seen it before. We've seen comebacks before. We've seen Navi do it just a couple of hours ago. So they have just to keep their cool. I know that's easier said than done, but if they just perform as they usually do, they have a good chance of coming back here with the 3-star, and that then again will put the pressure onto Bad Zinger. But at this point, I already have to say I'm very impressed by their performance. The highest amount of 3-stars so far for any team. No team has pulled off 3-3-stars today. And even, Clash Champs that were coming into this with a 13-star average, they were playing the same opponent, TWOB, and they only got 1 triple. Now, Bad Zinger just comes around the corner and they just 3-star 3 out of 4 bases. So very impressive stuff here, but we cannot call it yet. Tie-up coming in, and his goal is to put pressure on Bad Zinger, and he's coming in with the lightning spells, so the Zap Laloon strategy, Woody.
Big strike into the center of this base, not taking down the CC or the Eagle Artillery. It's that rage triggered off though, and he's just going to do a little bit more spread out on this bottom left side. These buildings are at the very periphery of the base, and so Taiba is going to be very careful with the positioning of these giants, these Yetis, in order to make sure that everything just gets dropped perfectly in position. He's got an Ice Hound, interestingly enough, for this low push. That's going to be a little bit more oomph added to that side of the field, freezing up everything on the ground. He's also got ice golems blocking out in front for this Archer Queen, so he is really trying to put the freeze on this base. Defending Barbarian King is going to get a chance to go chop that up, but it is going to be frozen solid in just a minute whenever that ice golem pops off. Uh-oh, but that Queen is in single target range. Tyab really needs to dump some damage in here quick or add on a spell to keep her alive.
Yeah, very unfortunate that the Royal Champion didn't get the air defense, since it's a...
Oh, no.
Okay, I think that was the auto ability at the Queen. But you know what I really love is in these attacks when at the start, when I see the attacker drop troops so quickly, because it just shows me that they have planned this so detailed that they know everything that will happen already by heart. You know, they have gone through this several times, and then they just basically do it, not even worrying about what will happen, because they know what will happen, because they played it through in their head. And Tyab's attack still looking strong, as he got the Town Hall down with the troops in the blimp, and he's got a lot of spells left, Woody. A haste, a rage, and a freeze, making use of two of them right now, and just read air targeting defense on the back end of this base. But the red mine, Woody, can it still fail is my question, because it looks basically like a triple at this point.
Man, haven't just seen a 99% 2-star because of a trap that goes off at the last second. I don't want to call it until it is over. You've got a wizard tower over here, and that can be a big problem for these minions. Can the Electro Owl hold aggro from that wizard tower? It looks like it does, and that might have just saved this attack's life. Grand Warden low on hit points, Electro Owl low on hit points too, but that is going to be a lot of damage coming in because they kept the fire off of those minions, who now are just going to overwhelm the remainder of this base. 99-100! TWOB finish off this war with 13 stars, more than we've seen from anyone else. And yet it looks like Badzinger are in prime position to get the win anyways. They are going to need to do a lot of work, though, because it is not going to be an easy it's not going to be an easy strike at all. They need a 2-star and 94% to get the win, Maxi.
Yep, that is correct. Very impressive how you did that quick math there.
It's all because of League Ops. They gave me the answer in chat right there.
Woody, I know you know your numbers. Great job there, but honestly, even greater job to tie up. That look at him. Yeah, that was just a very impressive last attack there. Keeping his cool, especially this invisibility spell, was very, very good, because it led his troops into the air defense and make them skip the ground targeting expo, which wouldn't have gotten him any more value. So great stuff from him. But yeah, now Woody, I'm just eagerly awaiting this last attack. I love it when it goes down to the very last moment, to the last attacker, and once again it is Dima finishing off here. We've seen him last week in the Swiss stage pulling off 2 consecutive 99% 2-stars. I think generally that is not what he wishes for, but as now this would guarantee them the victory, I think he could live with that. But yeah, I think his plan is for the 3 stars anyway, so let's see what he can do with the once more Electro Titan Smash, Woody. But one interesting switch that he did here, he's not bringing the Flame Flinger, but more so a Siege Barracks, which we can see at the bottom side.
Dima missed hard in the last war, as the final attacker for Badzinger saw a 2-star with Super Witches that left his team just a little bit short. He now has a chance for redemption now to come back in strong with these quintuple Electro Titans to try to zap through a pretty mighty base. We've got a Rage spell right next to that Multi-Inferno, and these heroes, and an Eagle Artillery in the top compartment, so that is going to be Dima's first target to try to take down nice and early on. The Rage is out, and it's starting to fire away. Freezing up on the top slide from those Ice Golems. He is doing his best to try to keep them on point, on target, and with enough healing to keep them alive. The Queen's getting awfully low, though, taking a lot of damage. The healers are staying locked on, but they're going to get pushed back by that Air Sweeper. Do you see any more spell support, or has he given them all that they can deserve? A jump spell into the interior of the base as well. The Barbarian King taking a few more shots in front. Man, that Queen is just holding on for dear life, Maxi.
Yes, it is so so close, and I mean, so many troops making their way to the town hall, but it turns invisible at this very moment. Everything's skipping the town hall.
No.
Can anything go there? Can anything get this? And remember, he needs a 94% 2-star, and look at his reaction. It doesn't seem like he even still believes that he can get it. And it looks like TWAB have done, not the impossible, but the improbable with the comeback after they got the 99%. And at this point, Dima is really struggling where he could even deploy his Royal Champion to get a 2-star. Yeah, he just decides to go on the left side, but look at this, just 50 seconds on the clock, so many defenses still up, just a couple wizards, and I think he knows that he can never get to the 94% in time, let alone, you know, getting the town hall at some point. He's not even getting the Royal Champion in the direction, and I fear that this is going to be a 1-star to finish things off, Woody.
This is really a heartbreaker for Dima, and you can see it in his reaction. Guys, give him some love in the chat, because Dima has been fighting so hard for this Bad Zinger squad and has put it all on the line against what must have been one of the toughest bases for Bad Zinger to have to go up against. It's always the clutch hitter in the 5th position that is relied upon to close out this war. But the base building from TWOB has been supreme and denies Bad Zinger advancement in the lower bracket of the Queso Cup 2023. TWOB are moving on. This squad has fought tooth and nail, and with the first 13-star performance of the day, they have certainly earned their win over Bad Zinger. Another well-fought war by that stellar team, but only one clan can advance, and TWOB will be their name. Bad Zinger have been eliminated from the Clash of Clans Queso Cup 2023 off of a very tightly contested war where the defenses finally started to crack. Offense is now back in style as 3 stars came in over the top, and with TWOB showing up one of their best wars of all time, they have still yet again survived and they can hold out hope for a golden ticket in this tournament, Mac.
अभी बैड सिंगर के साथ तो हम लोग जीत गए, लेकिन अगली मैच पता है किसके साथ है? नावी के साथ। ये टीम 2 बार वर्ल्ड फाइनलिस्ट, 1 बार वर्ल्ड चैंपियन रह चुकी है। जिस चीज का डर था वही हुआ भाई। हम चाहते थे कि ना क्लैश चैंप हमसे भिड़े, ना ही नावी हमसे भिड़े। क्लैश चैंप भी भिड़ गई, अभी नावी भी भिड़ने वाली है। देखो भाई, यहाँ तक हम लोग आ चुके हैं आपकी सपोर्ट की वजह से। भाई आप लोग सपोर्ट करते रहते हो, हमारा ये लेवल है ही नहीं। हम लोगों ने हमारा लेवल बढ़ा दिया है आप लोग ही सपोर्ट की वजह से। आपका ना इतना सपोर्ट आता, ना ही हम लोग यहाँ तक पहुंच पाते। हम लोग तो पूरी कोशिश करेंगे नावी के साथ, लेकिन देखो वो तो दुनिया की बेस्ट टीम है, हम लोग भी जानते हैं। और उनके जीन्स के अंदर ही है, जैपनीज टीम है, उनके जीन्स के अंदर ही है यार वो चीज। लेकिन हम लोग हमारी जी जान लगा देंगे भाई साहब। थैंक यू सो मच यार आप सभी लोगों का इतना सपोर्ट करने के लिए। तो बस आज के लिए फिलहाल इतना ही। मैं मिलूंगा आपसे अगले वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए बाय।